Hello, Barendipitous here with another video for the TTRPG shelf, and here I'm going to talk all about the dice that we have, that my wife and I have. So this is a whole dice box. I'll explain a little more about it in a moment. And this might not look like a whole lot for now, but trust me, it will get worse, better. I'm not sure. Basically, we have a problem, just like many other tabletop RPG enthusiasts. We have a lot of dice, as you will see. But this is the standard. This is the main standard set of dice that I use most of the time. I do also have a really good streamlined dice rolling app on my phone that I use a lot. But if I'm using physical dice, I'm usually using this set. So there's 5 sets in here. But I will first of all mention that this light blue set right here is my very first set of dice. This right here. Yeah. Basically, this was this was the set that I purchased like when I first started with TTRPGs with D&D really back in like 2015, 2016 or something like that, in one of those like cheap little plastic boxes. Cheap little rectangular boxes, kind of like, this right here. There's something else in it, I'll show that in a minute. But in this kind of like Chessex box, I got this set. I chose this color because at the time I had created a Dragonborn bard, a librarian bard, named Yarharit, and he was a silver Dragonborn. And I thought this would, and kind of the idea of like white, silver, and blue, I thought this would be a good like color for him. Oh, 20, nice. So yeah, so there's that. But then I also got a few more. Then I got a few more sets to kind of like round things out. So there's 4 more sets in here: black, blue, green, and red. And so I've been able, and then also in a local convention a few years ago, there was a company with a booth that they were doing like they did a lot of sort of like wooden dice boxes like this and whatever, and like a lot of conventions, they have a wheel and stuff where you spin the wheel and you might get some little bonus or like maybe 10% off a purchase or whatever. And what I ended up getting was a free leather upgrade. Normally these are just wooden in the bottom of these, but I got the free leather upgrade, and I'm like, you know what, this is a really good dice box. And then this was the design I chose. I really like this design a lot. Very straightforward and perfect. There was one time where I actually broke it. I dropped the dice box, and there's this piece of wood came out, which I was really frustrated by. But I was with some super glue, I was able to glue it back on, and it's not perfect, but nothing bad has happened since then. So yeah, I like this a lot. This is like the perfect dice box for me. Basically, it's nice and compact. I'm able to fit it pretty nicely behind my GM screen, and as you can see, 5 sets of standard polyhedral dice basically fit perfectly in here with a little bit of finessing, I guess, but they basically fit perfectly in here. So those are my 5 standard dice right there. Let's see, what should I show next? I'll also show dice that my wife has. So this is, I believe this was my wife's first set of dice right here. We got this beaker container like a little more recently, but this was also purchased in one of those like cheap like rectangular plastic Chessex boxes or whatever. But yeah, this was her first set. She's very much a fan of pink things and black things, and this was just perfect for her. But she has since, of course, gotten more dice. These are the dice that she normally uses. This happens to be so for Christmas a few years ago, I got a box of dice that were themed after Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So it came in this lovely box with like a velvet lining and stuff. So there's a Wild Beyond the Witchlight. There's some maps and stuff like that down there. But yeah, these are the dice that this is kind of like my wife's dice collection that she normally brings around. So yeah, these orange dice were the dice that came with the Wild Beyond the Witchlight box. So she liked using those. Of course, you got this some like really nice pink dice as well. Some like other like standard darker dice. here's a set of metal dice that she has with sort of this like dark prism effect or something like that or whatever. There's a full metal set in there, and she also really she got this set of Japanese dice. These are all Japanese numbers because first of all she loves sakura cherry blossom type things. She thinks it's really pretty, and she thinks the dice is pretty, and also this helps her learn Japanese numbers. So she has that. And then also, she was really happy about this. There was a local convention where someone was selling a porcelain tea set, like a teacup with a painted teacup with a matching saucer and matching dice in it. And so these dice, the dice and the teacup and the saucer are all hand painted. And basically, the teacup had these designs on it, like kind of the classic white porcelain with like blue flowers and everything on it. But yeah, that's basically yeah. So my wife was really happy about it because she likes sipping herbal tea and everything, and she's always wanted a tea set, and now she has a matching dice set to go with it. Really, really cool. There's like plastic resin on the outside of it as well, so the paint job is protected. But yeah, really, really beautiful, lovely stuff there. So basically, contained in all of this are the dice that I usually use and the dice that my wife usually uses. But of course, that is not all. Let me put these off to the side here. There was one time where I thought it would be just useful to have a lot of extra dice, and so as a bit of a birthday present, I gave my wife this bag of all kinds of dice of various colors. There's solid colors, there's clear colors, and everything like that, right? I can't remember how many sets there are in here. Maybe I think there's got to be like maybe 20 sets of dice in here as far as I can remember. I think she might have pulled like 1 or 2 sets out here for that, like maybe pink or whatever that she uses more regularly. But yeah, and I guess yeah, I guess we threw in some extra stuff in here. This is kind of like a little yeah, we have this little like pirate dice and stuff. This skull and crossbones for the one. Yeah, just kind of a mishmash of like sort of cheap dice. This is the kind of dice that we would be willing to let other people borrow, and we wouldn't care so much if they like forgot to give it back or whatever. If they wanted to have a set of dice, we're willing to let them basically take this. This is like our cheap extra dice for any time someone needs some, essentially. Because that's always important, right? When you have friends over to play, TTRPGs, you want to make sure that everyone has dice, and you're also kind of a little bit protective of your own, dice and everything. My wife especially, because she has some special sets, right, with the hand-painted set and the Japanese numbers set and everything like that. So we have all of this to basically get around that problem. So yeah, already at this point, that's probably, one might say too many dice. Although if you're a TTRPG enthusiast like me, you would probably say, no, that's not enough dice. More math rocks, more click-clack math rocks, right? So there's that. And as you might have guessed, that is not all. Let me also show you something that a dice set that I got at a convention, at a local convention recently. This is a electropunk dice set. It actually originally came in this lovely scientific-looking bottle. However, the reason I took it out is that these dice are a little larger than normal, and because of the kind of like sharp angles of this bottle, I had a very hard time getting the dice out of the bottle. And so I decided to. My wife and I kind of brainstormed. We decided to use this because I'm kind of using it more for display anyway. And the reason for that is I have this, right? I showed this a little bit earlier in the video. This is, so these are crystals from, so if you don't know, I am the unofficial fan lore master of the Brawlhalla community. Brawlhalla is a platform fighting game, a free-to-play platform fighting game that's set in Valhalla with a bunch of awesome warriors and stuff. And in the lore of the game, there is a substance called Dark Heart, which is this crystal ore type substance that is very dangerous and volatile. If you there's a lot of power in it, and if you take that power, you risk losing control of yourself, essentially. And there's an event in 2020. There was an event in 2023 where the developers of Brawlhalla had crystals on display in one of their esports events that was basically like real Darkheart. And when I went to the Brawlhalla World Championship in November of 2023, one of the developers took me aside and gave me 2 pieces of the actual Darkheart crystals that they used, put on display in a previous event. And I just thought that was really cool. So I have real Darkheart, quote unquote. And I thought it would be cool to have a set of dice that looks kind of like it was made out of Darkheart, and that's what this is essentially. Again, the name of this was like handmade dice called Electropunk. There's kind of like little streaks of there's like little streaks of foil and stuff like that through the pink. But I thought it looked a lot like the way Darkheart looks. This is basically like some kind of purple quartz or something, or rose-colored quartz. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. And there you go. This is basically my display Darkheart dice for I put next to my Darkheart crystals. So I also, whenever I like take these things out for a video, I always have gloves on because there's part of the sort of like lore kind of Darkheart is that it's painful to touch. It's like stinging. It's like stinging needles or something like that. Like you don't want to touch Darkheart directly with your skin. So anyway, obviously this is really this is safe to touch. This is normal dice and normal quartz, but I like making a show of it and everything and keeping it contained and stuff. I might actually put the Darkheart in this bottle right here because there's sort of like a little scientific research theme going on around Darkheart and its home base of Terminus and everything. But yeah, anyway, Darkheart dice, that's what this is. So there you go. I also did, also there is this beaker here, although I think the dice is probably too big for the beaker, unfortunately. But yeah, there you go, Darkheart dice. That is not all. At that same convention, we also have, so these are basically, this is basically everything you need to play D&D. There's a little foldable character sheet in there, a little pencil, and a little set of dice, and some stickers and whatever for fun. So my wife and I got these just for fun. They were like $7 each. And yeah, my wife got this one. She liked this one, and I liked the colors of this one as well. So we have some dice in there. It's like a little portable D&D essentially, if you like. Is that the end? No. Here's another random little thing we have. This is soap, gelatinous cube, bardic inspiration, and basically you can't see it very well, but this is a piece of soap that has has dice in it, specifically a single D10, a single 10-sided dice. So if this soap were to be used, then eventually, as the soap disintegrated through use, then you'd be able to access the dice inside. Naturally, I have not wanted to use it because it's just kind of cool to just have a blue gelatinous cube thing right there. But yeah, sorry you probably can't see it very well, but I promise you there is a D10 in there inside. Also, I will mention that my wife loves bath bombs, and she did have a bath bomb that had dice in it. That has been used already, the dice sort of like clacked to the ground once the bath bomb dissolved, and it clacked to the floor of the bathtub once the bath bomb disintegrated. So that was fun. I can't remember where that set of dice is right now, but anyway. But yeah, that is still not all. Still more to come. Still got some of the more interesting dice left. First of all, I will show off my metal dice set. So I have this. I guess I'm missing a couple pieces. I think they kind of fell out in my little container over there. But yeah, I have this fun, kind of steampunk looking dice set. And I keep it in here because I know with metal dice, it's easy to damage things and whatever. So I keep it in this little velvet bag to protect it. Let's see. Oh yeah. I also have these little 6-sided metal dice. These basically came as part of a D&D convention, a huge D&D convention game that I was a DM for. There were hundreds of DMs for this convention game. It was very well organized and everything. And every player got one of these. And I just happened to have a couple extras, so I have some extras here. And yeah, just simple metal 6-sided dice. I just sort of have them as one of several things that I got from that really awesome convention event. let's see what's next. Oh, sorry, another extra one that I happen to have. I think, let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I see I see some of the metal dice that I dropped essentially. So there you go. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's the whole metal dice set right there. So yeah, there you go. It has similar designs to my wife's metal dice set, except the colors are a little bit different. So yeah, there you go. All safely tucked away in this little velvet bag. Okay, and oh gosh, I keep finding these. There we go. I have 4 of them. Perfect. Okay, I think now the time has come to really show the really strangely shaped dice. So give me a moment to gather all this. I will organize all of this, I promise, and then I'll explain what it is basically. And I swear we're almost done here with our dice collection. They're I admit there might be like maybe a couple dice here and there lying around the house, but by and large, I'm pretty confident that at this point I am showing you pretty much all of our dice that we have around the house. Okay, so there's some random little dice things that are like in here. I think this sparkly dice set was probably what came from the bath bomb, from what I can remember. Yeah, I think this might be it. There's probably like one more piece of this color somewhere in there. I'll find it at some point. But yeah, pretty sure this came from the bath bomb right here. This right here, really cool. Anyway, some extra little pieces of dice that some friends left behind when in the past few years. Just over the years, sometimes people forget dice and they just never claim it. This is a D4, like the sort of like the more boxy shaped D4 that's easier to pick up. So I can't remember where I got this from. I think a friend gave this to me. This is a D&D branded dice. That's a 20 right there. And then a skull for this is so it's Funko Pop and D&D. This was a dice that came with a Strahd von Zarovich Funko Pop, essentially. So really cool. I like that a lot. And this came with this is a D20 that came with a set of Magic the Gathering cards that were Dungeons and Dragons branded. So, and this is a much larger D20 right here, a normal one for comparison. So yeah, there's that. So now, what is all this junk right here? There's a dice maker called Polyhero Dice. I'm gonna sort all these out. Oh, also I randomly got this. This is a wonky 6-sided dice prop that I got for my Baron Dippity D&D character, a gambler cleric. But anyway, yeah, Polyhero Dice. They make item shaped dice based on different character classes, and they've had several Kickstarters over the years, and I have, I've been a backer in most of their Kickstarters up to this point, and there are several different sets in here, as you can tell, kind of like by the different colors. So I'm trying to kind of make order out of chaos here, organize everything to help you understand where everything is coming from. Let's see. Need to remember where everything goes. I think there's that. Yep. And yep, cool. Awesome. All right. There we go. So, all right. And then, yeah, perfect. Okay. So first of all, I believe their first, so basically each one of these dice sets represents a character class. All right. So let's start with this one right here. Hopefully you can kind of and by the way, these are, each of these dice sets do come in lots of different colors. These are just the colors that my wife and I chose. And we were also trying to, basically we tried to pick colors that we felt fit the class best and also was different enough from other sets, essentially. So Polyhero Dice, this is the Warrior set. The classic Warrior set was this, where we have a D20 shield, a D8 mace, We have 2 D10 gauntlets, a D12 helmet, a D4 knife, and a D6 sword. This D20 shield, basically, usually I just pretty much choose, 20, choose the number that appears on the top, right? But yeah, just, they do all technically work, although sometimes it is a little bit of a hassle to kind of figure out. They're a little more gimmicky, honestly, but I'm very happy to have them. And also, later on, they made these spiky ball D20s as well, and they are easier to read than the D20 shield, but I'm pretty happy to have the D20 shield anyway. So that's the warrior set. And then after that, they had the wizard set here with a couple little extra things. So the main wizard set looks like this, where you have a D20 orb, a D8 scroll, and the numbers might look weird here, but it is only one number that appears at the top. So yeah, that's how that works. We have a D6 little fire bolt here, a D4 magic missile bolt. So really, really good, really perfect. We have 2 D10 potion bottles, and we have a D12 magic wand. And again, only one number is going to be like straight up. The other ones are going to be like at a slant, essentially. So here it says 8, here it says 11, and so forth. There are also these D2 spell books. So again, kind of gimmicky, but still pretty cool. And then there's this D20 wizard's hat. Unfortunately, the numbers are so close together that it's hard to like pinpoint which number is actually rolled at the top. I think this might be like, 10 or something. I'm not 100% sure. But it is really cool to just kind of like spin it. And it lands on a number, but it's hard to read. So I don't use it that much. I would prefer, this is much easier to read, this D20 orb, essentially. So then, after that, after the fighter and the wizard, they did the rogue. And I chose a glow-in-the-dark, color set here. So the normal rogue set looks like this, where you have a D20 powder keg. We have 2 D10 bags of money. This is a D8. I'm pretty sure this is I think this is a D2. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is a D8 arrow. D8 arrow. This is a D12 gem, a D6 poison flask, and a D4 dagger. Again, with things like magic missiles and daggers or swords, like it's perfect to use like D4s or D6s, or also this firebolt is like a D6 as well. So when you cast firebolt or cast magic missile or use a dagger and you roll this dice, that is really that's literally the dice you would use for that weapon or that spell. I think that's cool. A couple little accessories here. We have a D4 thing of rope. We have a D3 grappling hook, again, like the one that's pointing upwards, and a D2 skeleton key. So there you go. That is the rogue. Then after that, they had the cleric, and we chose a kind of like, I'm sorry, I forgot. A really cool piece of this rogue set that I have is this lock picking kit. It comes in these 2 pieces. So normally we have this top here, right? Spins very well, and it would land on a number from 1 to 20. But the way that you would know which number you land on, so you put this in here, and so you spin this, and then you stop it and tilt it up, and there's a little window in there, and in the window is the number that you would see. Really, really cool. So it does look like you're picking a lock, and a number shows up in there. So, and there's a like, it's not always perfect. Sometimes it lands in between, but there's a slight little locking mechanism that does keep it on a number usually. But yeah, 12. There you go. Really, really cool. I love it. Fantastic and ingenious. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, cleric. So we chose this this cool purple color here. So the cleric has, I guess this came with 2 D20 sensors, CENSER, like little religious like objects and stuff. We have 2 D10 holy symbols. Again, like the number that is on top is kind of what it lands on, I guess. We have this D4 hammer. So yeah, again, not the easiest to read, but still pretty cool. A D10 chalice, right? And a D8 like flask of holy water, vial of holy water, and a D6 mace. And also, I happen to have these holy hand grenades. These are all the same. These are all D4s, which it's a little bit overkill because there's 8 spaces on here, but it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4. But yeah, these are D4s, and they're holy hand grenades. How could I not? And then finally, the most recent set, my favorite is, like, Bard is my favorite class, and I really love this telltale teal color that they have. So we have 2 D20 drums, essentially. Again, not the easiest to read, but still pretty cool. We have a D4 mask. On one side is smiling, and the other side is frowning. So, yep. So whichever eye is like upwards. Let's see. We have 2D10 torches right here. And by the way, with all of the like double D10s, one is like a normal D10 and the other has like a dot on it, so you can like differentiate between the two. That's the case for all of them. Like with these gauntlets here, there's a dot at the bottom of the numbers on one of them, as you can hopefully kind of see there. But yeah, then we have this D12, I think potion of healing or something. This is a D6 loot. A loot. I'm honestly impressed by how well it works because it's kind of like more flat here, but the way it rolls is, yeah, it's more like a club, which works out very well. And a D8 rapier. Very, very cool. And then the extra little accessories, we have a D8 trumpet. Again, the numbers are kind of smushed together a bit, but there you go. We have a D2 like mug, essentially. So the design, again, is quite brilliant because the handle basically makes it land one way or the other. And then we have D4 sheet music. So, yep, there you go. So yeah, Polyhero dice, really, really cool. And I think they probably have plans to do like other classes, like maybe monk or barbarian or stuff like that, right? Like a D4 axe or I don't know. But yeah, and this right here is pretty much all of the dice that we have. Yeah, kind of ludicrous. And we'll probably get some more dice sets in the future, you know. But you know, we this just kind of shows that we, you know, what is, you know, to paraphrase Castlevania, what is a TTRPG enthusiast? A miserable pile of dice. You know, dice goblins, essentially. We like having click-clack math rocks, and especially when they look cool. So there we go. Those are pretty much all of the dice that I have, that my wife and I have combined. And yeah, subsequent videos on the TTRPG shelf will be about various accessories that we have, and there's a lot that we have. So you know, stay tuned. That should be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this delve into dice, and until next time, all the best.